it's Tia, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in this video, I'm going to be giving you some back to school advice. Now, those of you that already went back to school by now, I know that some of you are probably nervous, or maybe you're starting secondary school, or maybe you're just going back to school and you're just suddenly really nervous for no reason. I've been there. I know what it's like when I started secondary, I was very nervous. Now, here's the advice. Now, doing your homework the day you get it is a really good idea, and it would really make your life a lot easier than leaving it all to the weekend. Because if you do that, you'll realize that you'd have a lot of homework to do, and that you'd be stressing, you'd be getting all worked up, or you might not be. Depends how you react, and reacts differently to these things. But my advice is to do your homework the day you get it, so that way you're not going to get into any kind of trouble for not doing your homework or for not meeting the deadline for it. Now, if you're either starting a new school or maybe you're starting secondary, then making friends, for me, I found it quite hard to make friends. I was very shy at school. I was always extremely quiet, and I just found it very difficult to socialise. I didn't know why, but making friends, it will take time. We all go at different paces of making friends. If you're starting school now and you're watching this and you're worried that you might not have any friends or something, then just don't just fall into depression or sadness thinking you're never going to have any friends. That is not true. You will have some friends. It just takes longer to make friends. It took me quite a long time to make some friends at my new school, but eventually I did, and they're some of the bestest friends I've ever had. Now, if you're starting your school and you're very nervous or you're not too sure how to make friends, now ways of how you can make friends, there are many ways. You could go to clubs where you can interact with other people and make friends like that, or you might decide to talk to one of your classmates. Anything like that. That can help you make a friend. So maybe if you're starting school, maybe try going to a club. It could probably help you make some friends there. Sometimes some people get afraid of when they look at someone and the person might look a bit rough or something. Don't just think that this person's going to be extremely horrible just because of how they look. Don't judge someone by how they look. Maybe go up to them and then maybe when you talk to them, they might seem like a very nice person. It happened with me. I saw someone that they're someone in college who looks a bit scruffy, and then when I talk to them, they're actually a very nice person, and not as what I thought. But when everyone goes through that when they start school, so don't worry about it too much. So when you're starting school, don't be afraid of being late to places, because it's your first day and you're getting new to the place. They would understand. They would just give you a detention for not for being 5 minutes late or something. It's not your fault. But if it does happen, then you would, any parent would get really angry. But if you're unsure of where you're going, just ask the teacher, and ask them, saying, do you know where this room is, or do you know where here is, and there is, and they'll give you directions, and they might even take you there if you're unsure of which directions to go in. But it happens to everyone when they start school, or go to a new school, or maybe start college. It happens. When I was starting college, I hardly knew my way round, and then on my first day, on my induction, I had to ask someone. I was this woman at the desk, saying, do you know where room 11 is? And then she just gave me directions, and I got to the right room and got there maybe just a little bit late, but I didn't get into trouble for it because they knew I was new. So if it does happen, then don't freak out or panic over a small situation. If that not a situation where you can't find your way round. Because you will find your way around eventually. Like, it takes time and getting used to the school and the routine, and like also getting used to like the timetable. So like, just ask someone if you don't know where a place is and they'll give you directions. Even like ask the teacher, because they would definitely know, but even maybe ask another student, because they might know. Like I had to give a year, like when I was in secondary school, I had to give a year 7 directions to like the science block, and they got there in time. So like, don't be afraid of asking someone. Always ask if you're unsure. Now, if you like go to a school and you have a uniform, like putting on a new school uniform, you know, it can be a bit tricky at first, not knowing what to put on first or like how it goes. Like maybe if the school uniform had like something like a tie and you weren't too sure how to tie a tie, like maybe like you might have to get your mum or your parent or your dad or maybe a sibling to help you, but it takes time to like learn how to put on a new set of clothes, especially when it's like a uniform they want you to, you know, when the school like has some rules saying you've got to wear it in a specific way, you've got to wear it, you can't wear like certain things with it, or you've got to have like maybe something like you've got to have your blazer on at all times, or you can't take your tie off, you have to have that on at all times. Like it can be a little bit hard when, especially when like when it's like just really hot one day and you really want to take off your tie just so you can get a bit cooler, or maybe even your blazer. Like there's a school called Ravensbourne and they do not allow their students to take off their blazers. Like I kind of feel a little bit sorry for the students, like especially in the summer it's baking hot, but they do not allow their students to take off their blazers. But I didn't really go to Ravensbourne, I went to Buller's Wood, and I had to learn, and at the time they had these kilted skirts and they were really annoying to put on. It was like this long sheet of like kilted material, and there was like a button on one end and then like a button in the middle, and we had to like put it on one way here, securing the button, and then like have like, there was like a little strap that we had to strap on the other side to like complete the skirt. And it was really annoying, like when I was sitting down sometimes the two bits of fabric part, and it would be really embarrassing, especially if you're wearing socks, because imagine just like someone just like sees your knickers through your skirt. Very embarrassing. But now it's like a normal skirt now in school and it's much easier to put on. But since I'm not really in school anymore and now I'm at college and we kind of get to wear what we want, it's a bit easier. But when putting on a new uniform, it might feel a bit strange to you. Like it felt strange for me when I was like leaving a primary school that like had a tie and a cardigan, where I was coming to a secondary school where they had things like jumpers and like there's really difficult skirts and you're only allowed certain colours. Like it felt very weird to me, but by the time I kind of got used to the uniform, and now when I started college it felt weird going in with own clothes, but eventually I got used to it and kind of liked it. I mean, I did like it because we got to wear what we want, but you know, these things happen. But however, if you are starting a school and the uniform seems a little bit complicated to put on, don't just struggle in silence. Like ask a parent or a sibling for help if you're not too sure how to put something on, or if you think you've done it wrong. Just ask for help if you're just struggling. Like I once had to ask for help how to put on a kilted skirt for the first time, because it was just really confusing how to put on. Like I thought I put it on backwards for a second, then I had to put it the right way because it was kind of like a little bit to like the side, and if I went out the door like that I would have embarrassed myself in front of a lot of people. But luckily I got help and corrected it to how it should be. And even if your uniform looks a bit big on you, like it happened to me, like when I was starting my secondary school, my uniform was big on me. Like my skirt was very long. In fact, actually a lot of year 7s at the time, like the skirts were almost to their ankles because of like how much smaller they were back then. But throughout time at school, like you eventually kind of like grow into your uniform and it fits a lot better. And like when I was like starting to go into my uniform, by year 10 the skirt was like my skirt was just above my knees. Like before it was like halfway to halfway to my shin, but you know, like, but by the end of, but when I finished school, it was already getting too short, and so, like, you know, these things happen, and you know, like, don't be like too frustrated if you're not too sure how to put on the uniform, because firstly, you're new to the school, you're new to the uniform. They're not gonna get angry at you for putting it on wrong for the first time, or for the first few times, because they know you're new. Like, they wouldn't, like, you know, they would go easy on you. So that is it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, press like so I know, and subscribe if you're new. I make new videos every week, so you don't miss. So subscribe so you don't miss out, and if you want to get to know me better. So that is it for this video, guys.